Who faced stronger competition, LeBron James or Michael Jordan?
James faced way better competition than Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
So LeBron James has
I don't think I've ever heard Michael Jordan's middle name. Probably once or twice.
4 titles, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, and who did he beat in those 4 titles? Who are the best players on the teams he beat in those 4 titles?
Stephen Curry.
Okay, pretty good player. Keep going.
No, not pretty good.
Good player.
Let's keep going. Let's defend the player.
No, I'm asking.
It's funny because they immediately go to individual, though. Like, I think LeBron's better, but you're talking about, okay, way better competition. Okay, let's talk about the individuals that were on those other teams that LeBron played versus the individuals that Michael Jordan played. That's not the conversation we're having. He faced better competition, meaning he played better teams. And he played better players as well. But, you know, like overall the competition, it's not just the stars. You always want to go back to the stars.
In you because you're
Okay, let's go
because,
against.
okay, I'll start out on my end. So Michael Jordan's titles in reverse order: Gary Payton, Sean Kemp, Karl Malone, John Stockton, Charles Barkley, Kevin Johnson, Clyde Drexler, Magic Johnson. That's just the Western Conference teams that he faced.
Great players.
In the finals. On the way to get to the finals. Isaiah Thomas, Larry Bird, I'm going out of order here.
Don't worry.
Patrick Ewing, Reggie Miller, Charles Barkley when he was in the East briefly. All kinds of top 50 players of all time in their prime. The top 50 list was voted on in 1996. That was right in the middle of all this was going on. He beat Shaquille O'Neal in 1996. Swept the Magic actually out of the
96, yeah. But what was Shaq, like 10 years old, bro? I'm kidding, but he was a fetus in the league. Like, that was not prime Shaq, but he did beat Shaq. He did beat a lot of good players. He played a lot of good players. Michael Jordan's great, man. He's one of the best basketball players of all time.
The year after they went to the finals.
Okay.
So again, I'm going to throw it back to you. You've given me one name, Steph Curry. You got to give me some
I
more.
can give you
and
more.
Don't tell me DeMar DeRozan, because that was the best competition in the East for several years.
Because he scared everybody away. Look at the free agent transactions from when LeBron was building the Heat onwards through the Cavs, everything, bro. That whole time, everybody was just not trying to go to the East.
When LeBron James got to the finals year after year after year, I don't hear any competition.
That's not the best teams he's faced in the East, right? You're ignoring the big 3 Celtics, okay? Which is a very big deal. We can also take it to the West and talk about NBA Finals competition, which is not even close. LeBron James faced the greatest regular season team of all time, 73-9, right?
Yeah,
that is a better team than Michael Jordan ever faced in his entire life.
Draymond punched him in the nuts and he got suspended. That's why he won.
Okay, but it's still competition he faced. Then we can talk about who else he played in the finals.
That's true. That's a big loss, but still, I mean, he did beat them.
He didn't win, but he faced Kevin Durant, Stephen Curry.
The stimulus package, as they say.
Clay.
I don't know if that was a stimulus package, but that was a huge loss for the Warriors. Draymond Green going out in that game, them coming back down 3-1. That whole shit was, But still, bro, like that team was overpowered. And it was LeBron and Kyrie. I mean, they won. They won the game.
Thompson, Draymond Green, which is the greatest ensemble of talent you've ever seen on a court. Those 4. Then if you want to take it to the Spurs, you have Tony Parker, Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, who are coached by Greg Popovich, who might be the best NBA coach of all time.
Now we talking about coaches?
That's a part of a team you play. A coach is the brain behind the team. That's the brain trust.
Michael Jordan beat Pat Riley. He's the greatest coach of all time.
He's not. But when you talk about players who he faced, he's faced way better teams. I just gave you the best team that you could put out there. He beat them. He has the greatest comeback in NBA Finals history. And it hurts me to say this because Steph Curry's my favorite player. I'm not even a LeBron guy, but we have to keep the facts relevant.
Fine, if we're going to keep the facts relevant, then how about we bring up the team that LeBron James never wanted to face because he went and joined them when he played with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh down in Miami. Are we allowed to bring that up? Because that was his best competition in the East. That was the team he was going to have to go through. And he said, you know what? Rather than going through...
Yeah, but Chris Bosh was in Toronto. They all went there at the same time. This guy, you're saying it as if... I mean, I think if I remember correctly, Bosh was kind of already a done deal to Miami. But you're saying it as if it's like, he just went there to join them because he lost to them. Like, no, that was a free agent situation. And the big 3, bro, the Celtics had the first big 3, and they did that to beat LeBron. Keep that in mind. They did that because LeBron was coming up in the East, and he was overpowered as shit. And they were like, we got to do something about this. And they made that big 3. And then LeBron went and did it himself, and now everybody hates on that. I don't like the concept of superstars teaming up. I think that kind of, I mean, it is what it is. I'm not going to, I'm going to adapt personally, mentally. I just don't think that it's great, but I don't care. Like, I'm not going to sit here and just complain about it and be taken away from everybody. At the end of the day, if you take away from LeBron, then you got to take away from everybody else. What about Michael Jordan? Why didn't he just leave? Why didn't he leave Chicago and go somewhere else? Because they were so overpowered. But obviously it's a little different because he was drafted there. But you get what I'm saying, though. Like, everybody who won had a good team, man. You can't use this argument. I don't like this argument. That's all.
That steamroller, I'm just going to join up with that. I'm going to eliminate the competition by joining them, which is something that Michael Jordan never did. So it's a complete fallacy of an argument because the premise you're standing on is faulty.
Well, it's not. I'm looking at the teams he played. I told you the teams, number one, have a better
Michael Jordan
record.
never joined up with better talent.
But it's not about who joined who. It's about who you play, right? And who
If you
LeBron played, those
dictate
teams
who
are
you
better.
play by joining
Those
up
teams
against the
teams
better
are
play-
better than the teams Jordan faced. You talking about Kevin Johnson. What good is Kevin Johnson doing in comparison to Steph Curry? Let's stop it here. Let's be realistic. Come
Listen,
on.
If
KJ, yes.
If LeBron James had an interest in beating the best, he wouldn't have joined up with the best.
But he did
That
beat the
wasn't
best.
what he wanted to do.
He beat the best regular season team of all
He
time. And the only
beat the
reason it's not
best-
the best team is because they lost to Braun.
He beat
We
the
have to
best
be
that was
real.
out there because he took away the competition by going to join.
Man, look, I just wanted to comment on what he just said. I don't think that, to some extent, yes, joining up with great players can be seen as weak, right? But what is he supposed to do, bro? Go to the worst team? Like, what do you want him to do as a free agency, bro? And then also, like, ultimately, Michael Jordan was the beneficiary of already having been on the good team. Bro, a lot of these guys who are extremely good at something, or basketball, let's just say basketball specifically, right? Some people who are extremely good at something, they don't tolerate bullshit, bro. They didn't get really good at what they do by surrounding themselves with fucking morons who suck. And if the Cavaliers organization could not support LeBron James in his pursuit of a championship, he's gonna leave. That's what excellent people do, bro. They work extremely hard, and then they put themselves in positions to win. So for us to sit here and be like, oh, LeBron, KD shouldn't have gone to the Warriors. KD wanted to win a championship. He should have gone to the Warriors. That was the best decision to win a championship. Plain and simple. For you as a fan, right, you didn't like it. Who cares? You think he gives a fuck about that? Like, let's actually be real for a second, bro. Like, bro, like, these are people with their own lives and decisions, dog. Like, you're not, like, I guarantee, out of all the reasons they might do something, a fan being upset is probably, like, literally the last thing. Like, I'm talking about, bro, like, the way the toilet's flushing in a certain city might be more important to them than the fan being upset. Like, no joke. If I was in that situation, that shit would be more important to me. I prefer to have a handle instead of a button. So if they got handles in that city, I'm going there. That's going to be like number fucking 10,000 on the list, right? And your shit, man, like what you think about what I'm doing is going to be like, bruh, like I'm not even, it doesn't matter, okay? It doesn't matter. So LeBron wanted to win championships. He went to a good team where he could actually be supported and his excellence could shine. He won championships there. That's what he did. KD did the same thing. That's what Paul Pierce and all these guys did when they went to the Celtics. They were the first real big three that was formed through free agency that was really like notorious and big. Right? Sometimes guys leave for other reasons. The Shaq and Kobe situation. Right? There's a lot of this shit that goes on. People have their own decision-making frameworks. And, I mean, at the end of the day, Michael Jordan was, in an NBA sense, he was born into a good situation with a silver spoon. And he was excellent. He was like, in real life, he's like, Donald Trump, bro. He was born into a great situation and still made it, was extremely rich. And then ended up becoming the president and shit. That's Michael Jordan in basketball. He was drafted onto a great team, but he was still a great player, and he showed that. But he was in a good situation, right? LeBron, not so much, bro. He got it out the mud when it comes to the NBA. He was like one of the worst organizations in the history of the NBA, historically. He ended up joining that organization, not by choice, and obviously balled out, did his thing. I believe he won an MVP there, maybe, can't remember, probably, right? Then he went to Miami. He was obviously regarded as the best player in the league. Went to Miami, won a bunch of championships, put himself in a good situation. So what are you supposed to do? If you go to, if you were born in a impoverished third world country, you supposed to stay there? Supposed to stay there too? So buddy over there can be happy about it and be like, oh, he didn't switch sides. Come on, man. That's not how it works. People make decisions for their own personal gain, and that's absolutely respectable, especially personal decisions like a free agent move in basketball. We're not talking about whether you pass the ball or not and you try to get a layup or you pass the ball. That's, you know, maybe you shouldn't be that selfish there, but this is a big time decision that has a large cascading impact on your life across many facets. So the expectation put on these players is ridiculous, and I think that shows when it comes to the mindset towards free agency that older guys have. And I agree with older guys on a lot of things, right? Old heads, as they say, but that's not one of them. All right, man. Peace and love. Subscribe, like, comment.